James and I first met about five, maybe 6 years ago now.
So we do the guest series here at Lyle's. I used to really love eating out a lot. I used to love traveling a lot, and seeing different places, seeing different food cultures, and kind of seeing how I could take something from that and apply that to British food. And then I just realised as soon as the restaurant opened, I had no time and didn't get to see anything, didn't know what was happening. I felt totally kind of out of the loop, or just felt like my head was so much in the restaurant. So I wanted to invite people to the restaurant to kind of see what else was going on, both for them to see what we've got in this country, and then also for me to see what's going on in other places, because I couldn't get there. I think the reaction to Guest Series has been good. I think it's getting better. Most of the focus is just on who's coming over, how can we make that event good.
It's really been cool to see how London's sort of chilled out a little bit in that 6 years since I was last here. You know, places like Lyle's, Braun, 40 Maltby, P. Franco, you know, all these kind of way more chill places with focus on natural wine and all that kind of stuff have started to pop up, and it feels like there's a real community now of everyone getting along and being on the same page, and front and back of house all being one big crew. There's no like bullshit and that kind of thing, and that's really similar to where Sydney is at now. The macaroni pig's head and egg yolk pasta. It's pork, pasta and egg yolk, so it's pretty classic in that way. We braise it in a sweet and sour braise with soy, vinegar, sugar, and then we add stuff like tomatoes and cheese rinds and all these kind of things that have a lot of umami. And then the next day, we pick all the meat off the head, and then we chop all the meat up, and then we'll fry it off before service, so it's nice and golden and crispy. We add to water in a pan, we fry off garlic, shallot and chilli, and then we add the pig's head to that, and then the stock that we braise the heads in then becomes the sauce for the pasta. So we add that stock to the pan with a knob of butter, emulsify that into a nice sauce, chuck the pasta into it, toss the pasta through, and then it gets a raw egg yolk on top, which the customers then mix through at the table themselves. So it's really simple, but it's really fucking tasty. I have a podcast back in Sydney that I do with a good friend of mine, Andrew Levins, called The Mitchin, and we just basically talk shit about the industry in Sydney and what our friends are doing overseas and all that kind of thing, and it gives us an avenue to talk about stuff without it going through a media or a journalist or something like that. My favourite model of sneaker is the Air Max 1 and the Jordan 11.
I have no idea.
James was just saying how much music affects the mood of the restaurant, and we really notice that too at Acme. Like, you know, sometimes we might play like TLC and some older R&B sort of shit because everyone's a bit more mellow and chill, and then sometimes then I feel like, man, staff really aren't moving their ass, and so then we'll sort of switch it up and play Future or Rich Gang, and then like the place really gets buzzy, and you really notice the vibe changing with the music and almost changing the way people feel when they're in the restaurant.
I'm just really excited about tomorrow. I think it's really interesting. Like, you can tell everyone in the kitchen as well is very much more like, oh, what's that? What's he going to do with that? Well, we've never done that. You know, there's almost everything we haven't done. We're cooking tomorrow night. We haven't done in the kitchen, which is brilliant.
Seeing somebody else's creative process is always cool. Like, whether it's an artist or whatever, but as a creative person, like to see someone else create in their way is like always really inspiring and interesting as well.